Man is back.
Oh, okay, boys. Oh my gosh, the man got messed up. This is a 5 out of freaking 5.
It is beat making time.
Next week is E3 week. My album comes out next week.
I have delivered.
This is your boy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen and the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash the True Inferno. Back at it with another Pokemon Unite commentary video gameplay for you guys. And now we are going to look at the top 10 anticipated movies of the year 2024. Now, I will be honest. I saw the list so far, and it's not as strong as it was last year. And that, when I mean by last year, I mean last year as of me looking at the movies that were coming out last year, not what actually happened, not all the movies that actually came out, because obviously it's not even close. But in terms of how 2023 was looking at the start of the year with the movies in comparison to how 2024 is looking, it's not really a good comparison. Like 2023 movies look really promising, and it was promising because we got a lot of great movies last year. This year, I don't know. It's a lot up in the air rather. Now, let's not waste any time. Let's get on with it. We're gonna start things off with number 10, Argyle. So this is an upcoming spy action comedy film. So basically, this is similar to Kingsman as a sort. So this joint supposed to come out next month, actually, February the 2nd, in the United States and in the United Kingdom. This would be distributed by Universal Pictures, Apple Original Films, through Apple TV Plus. And the production companies are Apple Original Films, Marv Studios, and Cloudy Productions. So the premise looked like this. Ellie Conray, an introvert spy novelist who seldom leaves her home, is drawn into the real world of espionage when the plots of her books get a little too close to the activities of a sinister underground syndicate. When Aiden, an undercover spy, shows up to save her, he says, from being kidnapped or killed, or both, Ellie and her beloved cat Alfred are plunged into a covered world where nothing and no one is what it seems. Now, this is interesting because of this following quote. I'm looking at the wiki, and that is this: the shared universe. In October 2023, Matthew Vaughn, who is this guy? He is he's the director and one of the producers actually. He announced that he is working on a untitled spy center universe through his Marv Studios. The filmmaker stated that it will include the Kingsman franchise, the Argyle films, and the unnamed third franchise, while the plan is to have each of those culminate in a crossover at some point in the future. So this is going to have some ties with the Kingsman, and I've been watching the Kingsman movies, so that's why I'm a bit interested in this one. Like, I'm still iffy about going out to see it. I don't know. I may end up watching it just because of that possibility rather, that they may cross over with the Kingsmans. So, and I've been watching the Kingsman. I've seen all the Kingsmen, and I enjoyed those movies. So more than likely, I'm gonna watch this one. And obviously, there's going to be a sequel. We don't know when, but there's going to be a sequel for this as well. So that's why it's number 10 on this list, because I was a little bit iffy on whether or not I should watch it or not. I don't know how good it would be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be hilarious. And John Cena's in this movie, along with Samuel L. Jackson, which is interesting, because I believe Samuel L. Jackson had a character in the first Kingsman movie, if memory serves it correctly. So that's interesting. But yeah, I may watch this one when it's dropped. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. All right, let's move on to number 9. Godzilla vs. Kong, The New Empire. So this joint is coming out April 12th of this year, and that would be released in the US. And it is produced by Legendary Pictures and will be distributed by Warner Bros. Pictures worldwide and Toho in Japan. So let's take a look at this premise real quick. This latest entry follows up the explosive showdown of Godzilla vs. Kong with an all-new cinematic adventure, pitting mighty Kong and the fearsome Godzilla against a colossal undiscovered threat hidden within our world, challenging their very existence and our own. The epic new film will dive, they spelled it D-E-L-V-E, dive further into the histories of these titans, their origins, and the mysteries of Skull Island and beyond, while uncovering the mystic battle that helped forge these extraordinary beings and tie them to humankind forever. So that's the quote from Legendary and Warner Brothers. So very interesting stuff there, if I do say so myself. Now, I haven't seen all of the Kong movies. I may go back and watch some of those, but I have seen all of the Godzilla movies, and I've seen the first Godzilla versus Kong movie. So naturally, I have to see this. But the reason why it's so low on the list is because I'm not expecting much from this movie. I'm not expecting this to be like an all-time great. I'm not expecting this to be top 5 or anything like that, which is why it's low on the list. But I think it will be amongst top 10. It just won't be top 5. So that's where I'm at with this movie. Now, I'm not sure if there's going to be another sequel. There's nothing here about another sequel to this specific movie. So there's that. But we'll see how this movie goes. I will watch this one. So let's now move on to number 8, Borderlands. So this is Borderlands based off the video game. So this joint will be distributed by Lionsgate Films, and the production companies involved are Arad Productions, Picture Start, Gearbox Studios, obviously, and Take-Two Interactive, obviously. And this joint comes out August 9, 2024 in the United States. So let's take a look at this premise, all right? Lilith, an infamous outlaw with a mysterious past, reluctantly returns to her home planet of Pandora to find the missing daughter of the universe's most powerful SOB, Atlas. Lilith forms an alliance with an unexpected teen, Roland, a former elite mercenary, now desperate for redemption, Tiny Tina, a feral preteen demolitionist, Craig, Tina's muscle-bound, rhetorically challenged protector, Tannis, the scientist with a tenuous grip on sanity, and Claptrap, a persistently rise-ass robot. These unlikely heroes must battle alien monsters and dangerous bandits to find and protect the missing girl, who may hold the key to unimaginable power. The fate of the universe could be in their hands, but they'll be fighting for something more, each other. Ooh, interesting. Okay, now, the reason why this is on this list is because, and apparently, Kevin Hart's gonna be in this movie, Jack Black, and okay, Jamie Lee Curtis, okay, interesting, okay, so check this out. The reason why this is on the list, obviously, because I used to play the Borderlands games. I will admit, I used to play the Borderlands games. They were pretty fun. I think I played Borderlands 1 and 2. I don't remember which one I played, but yeah, they were fun. I will admit, they were very, very fun. I'm not expecting much from this movie, but I think this will be better than Argyle and Godzilla vs. Kong: The New Empire, which is right as number 8. But I don't expect it to be higher than that. So that's why I got it at number 8. All right, so with that, and there's a pretty good chance, before I move on, there's a pretty good chance that there's going to be a sequel. Because obviously there's Borderlands 1, 2, 3, and goodness knows whatever else that came after 3. Now, with that out the way, let's move on to number 7, Kraven the Hunter. Okay, now we're moving on to the Marvel joint. So this joint is coming out August 30th of this year, and this would be done under the production companies Columbia Pictures, Marvel Entertainment, obviously, Arad Productions, and Match Productions, and would be distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing. So obviously Sony, this is another one of those Sony things, since Kraven is a Spider-Man character. So let's see if we can find a premise for this, which I'm not seeing one, which is interesting. So basically, here's the thing. So let's look at the cast real quick. So obviously, Aaron Taylor Johnson will play Kraven the Hunter. We're also going to get Calypso, which is kind of interesting because Calypso, okay, I'm thinking of somebody else. Okay, Calypso, never mind. Then we got, obviously, his whole family, Kraven's family would be in this as well. The Chameleon would be in this, which is very interesting. Rhino would be in this, which is also interesting. And then somebody called The Foreigner will also be in this. Now, at this moment in time, I do not see any type of synopsis or anything that spells what this movie about. So I'm guessing, I don't know, but I'm assuming that this is going to tell the backstory of Kraven, and then he's going to deal with his family, which apparently is a thing in the Marvel universe. So, especially since the Chameleon's in here, and Nikolai Kravenov, who is Kraven's father, is in this. So there's that. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. And that's the reason why number 7 is list. Obviously, it's Marvel, Sony, but it's Marvel nevertheless. And normally they come out with some decent movies. And with Kraven, the thing about Kraven is this. Kraven, again, is a Spider-Man character. So the fact that he's getting his own movie, and there's a very good chance that Spider-Man will not be in this, that's why it's like, you got to put in the top 10 because there's not much out there. But at the same time, I think it's still going to be better than Borderlands, Godzilla vs. Kong, and Argyle because, I mean, it's Marvel. So, you know, you got to give it some type of credit. But because of the fact that this is a movie about one of Spider-Man's anti-heroes or villains, whichever one you want to call it, Craven, it's like, don't get your hopes up that this is movie of the year, anything like that. So that's why it's like, that's why I got that at number 7. Now, speaking of Marvel movies, let's move on to number 6, Madam Web. And here we have another Spider-Man based character, I believe, who is getting their own movie. Now, this one coming out much sooner. This is actually coming out a month from now. And I need to watch this movie before I actually go out of town, because this movie comes out February 14th. And at that point, or the day after that, I would be going out of town actually. Oh, they come out on a Wednesday. Yeah, the next day I'll be going out of town. So that's interesting. So that'll be released in the United States. Now, the production companies involved are Columbia Pictures, Marvel Entertainment, I'm going to butcher this. Bonaventura, I said that correctly, Pictures, and it'll be distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing. So there you go again. So we got a premise. So Cassandra Cassie Webb is forced to confront her past while trying to survive with 3 young women with powerful futures who are being hunted by a deadly adversary. So obviously Cassie Webb, aka Madam Webb, who is in this movie, she started out as a paramedic in Manhattan and is a clairvoyant, I hope I said that word correctly, whose psychic abilities allow her to see the future events within the spider world. And then we're going to have 2 Spider Women. One of them, obviously, referring to Julia Carpenter. The other one being Maddie Franklin. And then there's going to be Awala. I can't, it's the N with the symbol over the N. That is obviously Anna Corazon. And then, let's see, we got Ezekiel Sims, who is an explorer who worked with Webb's late mother and have enhanced physical abilities. And he's the one who is hunting the 3 women who had the potential to become Spider Women in the future. Now, why he hunted them, I have no idea, but that is interesting. I do say so myself. So this one, there's some interest here because we talk about 3 women who could potentially be Spider Women, and you got Madam Web herself in this. So that's why there's some interest here. But again, the same thing with Craven applies here. This is another, if I says it correctly, this is another Spider-Man character getting their own movie, and more than likely, even though we talk about 3 potential Spider Women being in this movie, there's no Spider-Man in this movie. So that's why it's like, yeah, but I still think this is going to be better than Craven, because at least we know we're here. We know what we're up against. We know what's going on here. With Craven, we have no clue what the premise is. So that's why I'm picking this one over Craven, but I'm still saying this is not top 5. And speaking of top 5, let's move on with that real quick. So we're going to get things going with number 5, Untitled Venom movie. Now, here's the thing about this joint. Let's get the information out the way real quick. So this joint supposed to come out November 8, 2024. And the production companies involved are Columbia Pictures, Marvel Entertainment, obviously, Arad Productions, Matt Tolmat Productions, Pascal Pictures, been a while since I've seen that, and Hutch Parker Entertainment. And the distributed company is Sony Pictures Releasing, obviously. So here's the thing. I have no clue what the premise is here because there's no official title for this yet. But what we do know is this. Obviously, Tom Hardy will be back as Eddie Brock, aka Venom. And yeah, there's that. But that's it. That's all we know. We know nothing about this in terms of what the story is going to be about. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure if this is going to be released this year. It may be pushed back because there's no official title or anything like that. Now, granted, it's stated to be released in November, so they have some time before they can give us an actual title, before we can get a premise of what this movie is about and things of that nature. But, I mean, it's Venom, so hopefully they already done the Carnage thing. And again, I feel like they could have done a better job with the Carnage thing. I feel like that should have been like a 2-part movie or a longer movie. And then the second part could include Spider-Man because just like Venom, Carnage is a Spider-Man character. So yeah, we're going to be saying that a lot. So that's my only issue with the with the second Venom movie, which is obviously based off of Carnage. So there's that. Now, obviously, could Carnage return in this one? It's a possibility. I don't know. And actually, looking at Wikipedia, they actually said this is an Untitled Venom, Let There Be Carnage sequel. So it's possible that but Carnage could return. It's a possibility. I have no clue. It's still iffy with that, but that's why it's only number 5, because like if this movie drops and it should be good. It should be good because I ain't gonna say because it's a Venom movie but because out of the other movies out there, this one should be better than the ones I mentioned already. So this is a wait and see moment, because again, I'm questioning whether or not this movie will drop this year, and we don't know much about the premise, nor do we have a title for this one. Oh, and speaking of movies that don't have a title, let's check out number 4. Number 4, untitled 4th Bad Boys film. Now, let me explain something real quick. If this was to come out this year, I'm not putting this number 4 because it's Bad Boys 4. I'm not putting that here because it's number 4. No, I'm putting it here because I'm expecting it to be better than the previous 6. And yeah, that's where I'm at with it. So let's get the information out the way real quick. So this is only supposed to come out June 14th of this year. And the productions companies involved are Columbia Pictures 2.0 Entertainment, Don Simpson / Jerry Bruckheimer Films, and Westbrook Studios. And of course, check this out. Distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing. But this ain't a Spider-Man movie or a Marvel movie, so get that out the way. So, as expected, because this is untitled, there is no premise anywhere here. But what we do know is this. So, this is the sequel to Bad Boys for Life, which was the 3rd Bad Boys movie, actually. And we know that Will Smith and Martin Lawrence will be in this movie, and they will reprise their roles, and apparently they're still detectives. Now, I'm not sure, going off of their characters, if Martin Lawrence is retired or not, I don't know. Or if Will Smith retired, I doubt he'll retire. But his character, but I don't know. But there's that. Now, also, let's see. I'm trying to think. Paola Nuez will reprise her role as Lieutenant Rita Sakata, who is the head of Miami Police Unit AMMO and Mike's ex-girlfriend. Oh, that's interesting. So there's that. And then apparently, I believe some other characters will reprise their roles, like Vanessa Huggins, who is Kelly weapon expert at AMMO, and Alexander Lugrid as Dom. I thought that was an RN, but that's actually, no, that is an RN. Dorn, who is the tech expert for AMMO. So yeah, they would be back reprising their roles. And this is interesting. Tasha Smith will take over the role of Teresa Burnett from Teresa Randall, who played that character for the last 3 films. So that's interesting. I have no clue what this movie is about. There's no premise here. We don't have a title here. But the thing is, this movie is coming out in the middle of the year, supposedly. I'm assuming that it's going to come out this year. It may get pushed back to later on this year. Now, so we should get some information on this. I'm going to guess to say within the next month or 2. Because if that release date holds up, we got to get something within the next month or 2. Like a trailer, a title, a premise, something. We got to get something in order for this to seem legit. But I think it's a Bad Boy film. I think they normally are exciting. They normally are fun and things of that nature. So I expect this to be good, better than the previous 6 movies that I mentioned. So that's where I'm at with that. Now let's talk about movies that are supposedly coming out this year that actually have titles. Now let's start off with number 3. Number 3, Joker, Folie X Deux. Now, I probably butchered that title. I don't know. But if I did, I apologize right here, right now. Now, this joint is supposed to come out October 4th, 2024. And the production companies involved are DC Studios, obviously, Vintage Roadshow Pictures, and Joint Efforts. And it will be distributed by Warner Brother Pictures. So, what is this movie about? Now, funny thing is, there's no premise here. I have no clue what this movie is about. So, I'm assuming this is going to be a sequel to the first Joker movie. But apparently, this is supposed to be in some type of musical. As a matter of fact, if I were to look at the very first sentence, check this out. So this movie is an upcoming American musical thriller film. So there you go, right there. So it's supposed to be a musical. So that's kind of interesting to see how they would go about that. Now, we do know that there's going to be Harley Quinn in this movie, which is interesting because, if memory serves it correctly, Harley Quinn was not in the first movie. It's been a while since I've seen the first movie. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I believe that this would be the first time Harley Quinn would be in this movie or in this Joker, Batman, Gotham universe, whatever you want to call it. So that's going to be interesting. Now, we have no clue in terms of who's going to be playing what outside of, Phoenix playing Joker. Lady Gaga will be Harley Quinn. So that's going to be interesting. And Zazie Beetz will be Sophie Dumont, who is a single mother and Arthur's former neighbor. So I think she was the black chick who the Joker was crushing on. Yeah, she is. Yep, she's the black chick who the Joker was crushing on. So she's going to be in this movie. Now, I have no idea what this is going to be about. So it's going to be interesting to see how this would go. And the thing about it is the first Joker movie was really good. So the fact that this is going to be a musical, I'm kind of intrigued to see how this goes. And this could still be the third best movie of the year, despite it being a musical. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, let's move on to number 2, Deadpool 3. All right, so this is the one that we were pretty much all been waiting for, Deadpool 3. So this joint supposed to come out July 26th this year. The production companies involved are Marvel Studios, obviously, Maximum Effort, and 21 Labs Entertainment, and it would be distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. Hey, wow, look, it's not Sony. Okay, I was joking there. But anywho, what is this movie about? Let's get on with that real quick. And the funny thing about this is there's no premise, which is weird, because this movie has been talked about for a while now. And what we do know is this. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds will be back as Deadpool. We also know that Hugh Jackman is back as Wolverine. And Vanessa, who is Deadpool's fiance, would be in this. Not to mention, somebody by the name of Negasonic Teenage Warhead would be in this movie, who is a teenage member of the X-Men. And Electra, how you pronounce the last name? Nachios, who is going to be in this movie as well. So Electra is going to be in this movie. So that's going to be interesting. Now let's take a look at everybody reprising their roles from the previous Deadpool film. So Blind AI or Blind Al would be in this movie. Y'all remember him? I don't know about Dopinder. Oh, he's a taxi driver. Okay. We got Colossus right in this movie again. And then we got Yukio in this movie. So that's cool. And Rob Delaney will be Peter, who is a member of Wilson's X-Force team. So that would be interesting. Then let me see. Uma Corin will be the lead villain role. I have no clue who it is because they don't say. And they're going to be Dogpool? What the heck? Okay. Oh, and Sabretooth and Toad are supposedly going to be in this movie as well. Okay. So that's interesting. But again, we have no exact idea what this movie is going to be about. But what I will say is this. This movie is going to be graphic as heck. When you have Wolverine and Deadpool in the same movie, you know it's going to be graphic as heck. Like, it's going to be graphic as heck. That's all I'm going to say about it. And apparently, oh, this is interesting. Deadpool 3 is apparently a part of Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's interesting. Okay. Was Deadpool ever a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe like the first 2 movies? I don't think so, but I could be wrong with that, but that is indeed interesting. So, yeah, we could get some cameos from other Marvel characters from the MCU. So, that's interesting. That's why it's number 2 on my list, but it's obviously not number 1. Now, before we get on to number 1, let me look at the honorable mentions real quick. So, let's start things off real quick. We got The Underdogs with 2 G's. Now, this joint coming out really soon, January 26th, and this would be under production companies Metro Goldwyn Mayer, Calibo Inc. Society, Death Row Pictures, oh boy, and SMAC Entertainment. So, let me give you the premise real quick. Former NFL player Jason Jennings agrees to coach a youth football team in order to avoid going to prison as he tries to relaunch his career. Now, Jason Jennings is played by Snoop Dogg. So we got Snoop Dogg in this movie, George Lopez in this movie. We got Tika Sumpter, in this movie. Andrew, Mike Epps will be in this movie as well. And everybody else I'm not familiar with. So there you go with that. So it's a Snoop Dogg movie. And remember, if I said it correctly, I will recall one of my high school grads actually worked behind the scenes on this movie. If memory serves correctly, if I saw that clip correctly. I saw her hanging out with Snoop Dogg and I believe Tika as well. So I think one of my high school graduates actually worked behind the scenes on this movie, which is very, very cool if I do say so myself. But I may see this movie. It's more likely to go be a sports comedy. Yeah, it is a sports comedy. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. And I forgot to mention that this was distributed by Amazon MGM Studios. I forgot to mention that. So there's that. All right, next up an honorable mention list is Lift, which is also coming out. Actually, this is coming out tomorrow, January the 12th. So Lift, I'm not sure they have, no, there's no premise for this one, but I have seen the trailer for this one, which is why I know about it. So it's an upcoming American heist comedy film. So this one stars Kevin Hart. So yeah, they're trying to rob something that is on an airplane. So they was like, you know what? Let's just steal the entire airplane. Now, here's the interesting thing. It's going to be released on Netflix tomorrow. And it was originally scheduled to be released last year, but it was postponed due to the impact of the 2023, the strike. So yeah, that's why they're postponed, because of the strike. So there's that. It got potential because Kevin Hart's in this movie. I'm not sure about all these other characters who are going to be in this movie, but there's potential there because Kevin Hart's in it. He played a role that I want to say he's not used to playing before. I could be wrong on that, but it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. So I may try to bootleg this since I don't have Netflix. I do not want Netflix, so don't bother me about not having Netflix. So there you go with that. We'll see how this goes if I ever get a chance to see this one. Next up, Mufasa, the Lion King. So this is the prequel to the what we call this? Okay, there's a few Lion King movies that came out, but the one I'm referring to in terms of this being the sequel of was the one that came out a couple years ago, where it was like live action, I guess. So, but this is going to be a musical drama film. So there's that. Now this is supposed to come out December 20th of this year. The productions companies involved are Walt Disney Pictures and Pastel Productions, and it would be distributed by Walt Disney Studio Motion Pictures. So, I mean, it basically tells the story of Mufasa. Matter of fact, they got a premise here. The prequel about the rise of one of the greatest kings of the Pride Lands goes back to the African savannah where Rafiki tells Kiara, daughter of Simba and Nala, the story of her grandfather, while Timon and Pumbaa add color commentary. So basically, they just telling a story about Mufasa. So it's going to be like, the reason why I'm torn and telling whether I want to see this or not, because I didn't see the actual Lion King movie that this is the prequel of, because even though a lot of people saw it, but it didn't get good reviews. Like, it was not good. It was not good at all. So for me to go see this one, it's like, I don't know, but at the same time, they're telling the story of Mufasa, which has never been done before, unless it's done in the comics or something. I don't know. But in terms of being done on film, it never been done before. So that's why I'm kind of interested in watching this. So I may go and watch this. I don't know. That's a wait and see. I have my doubts that it would be good, but at the same time, you never know. I mean, you never really know. All right, next up on honorable mention list is Bob Marley, One Love. This is another movie I'm kind of interested in seeing. So this joint comes out February the 14th, and the production companies involved are Plan B Entertainment, Tub Gone, and State Street Productions, and it will be distributed by Paramount Pictures. So basically, this is telling the life of Bob Marley. Now, here's the thing. The reason why it's honorable mention is this. Well, like, I obviously know who Bob Marley is. I'm not questioning his talents or anything like that, but I was never really big on Bob Marley like that. I know who he is, I know who he is, and I know how big he is, but I was never really big on his music. I never really listened to it like that. But so that's why this is low on the list. This is why this honorable mention. I may go watch it because it may be an interesting story. So that's why I'm kind of, and this comes out the day before I go out of town as well. So I may watch this when I get back. So that's why I'm kind of interested in watching it, but I'm not putting it in my top 10. I think it's going to be honorable mention, so that's where I have it. All right, and actually, that's the last honorable mention here. Let's just get on to number one. I think we all know what it is, so let's just say that along, folks. Number one, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Okay, this is the movie that we're all waiting for, and y'all probably have questions, but I'll address those questions in a second. Now, this joint also supposed to come out December 20th this year, and this will be done under the production company Sega Sammy Group. Original film, that's the name, original film, okay. Mozart Animation Planet and Blood Studios, and then it will be distributed by Paramount Pictures. So, here's the thing. We don't have an official story for this one. What we do know is this. Shadow the Hedgehog will be in this movie. That's like the biggest thing about this joint right here. Shadow the Hedgehog will be in this movie. Now, what's going to make this interesting is this. Oh, it's going to be tough because of how they're going to address this situation. is this story going to be based off of Sonic Adventure 2? Or is this going to be based off of Shadow the Hedgehog, the video game? So here's the thing about those. If this movie going to be based off of Sonic Adventure 2, there's no Eggman. So going by the second movie, Eggman's dead. So so that's going to be a very interesting scenario. I mean, could they pull this off without Eggman? Maybe, possibly, I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see what the premise is here, especially since they supposedly killed off Eggman in the previous movie. I don't know, and remember, that was Jim Carrey's, who was Eggman, in a phenomenal Eggman. That was his last movie. He's retired. So I don't know what this story going to be about. And I feel like you can't do Shadow the Hedgehog without going through the Sonic Adventure storyline or Sonic Adventure 2 storyline. So I don't know, but I mean, they done something like that before where they didn't necessarily follow the same storyline as the video games. So who knows how they're going to approach this, but however they do it, this is going to be phenomenal. This is going to be phenomenal. I can't wait to see this one. To me, this is going to be movie of the year. Now, y'all may have questions like, wait a minute. Where's the Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse movie? Well, that, as of me recording this, that is not stated to be released this year. Shocking as it may be, but as of me recording this, that is not stated to be released this year. I'm dead serious. I think they pushed it back to next year. So that's why it's not on this list, because they pushing it back to next year, 2025. So that's why I got Sonic the Hedgehog 3, number one. And that's one of the reasons why the movie list for this year isn't exactly strong like it was last year. So there you go with that. I'm going to call it a wrap. So with all that said, y'all know who this is. This is your boy New Jack Gatsby, a.k.a. New Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.